Now, Jamie Dimon, he's been warning about the risks to the economy. He just was speaking at the Barclays Global Financial Services Conference in New York. All of the best people are there. It's unbelievable. We went to New York, and there's these places called delis, and they have all kinds of sandwiches that regular people eat. Oh, I felt like I was a regular person. Anyway, at the Global Financial Services Conference, Jamie Dimon said, I've been saying that there's some headwinds coming, kind of like a tornado is coming, including geopolitical tensions, government spending, monetary policy tightening by the central banks, and our government has been spending money like drunken sailors around the world. And that, drunken sailors, you need to, I'm so sick of this government. People claiming that they spend like I spend. I don't spend like that. That's an insult. To say the consumer is strong today means that you're going to have a booming environment in the days ahead is a huge mistake. He said, all this talk of a soft landing is probably not coming. You think? And, so there you have it from an expert. Now let a boob tell you. We're in a good part. We are, okay, all right. If we are, speaking of corn pop, if we were popcorn, not the same as One Bad Dude Corn Pop, same letters, just okay. If we were popcorn, the economy was popcorn. It is still in the cupboard, in the bag, waiting for you to go get it and put it in the microwave. That's how far along the line we are on this tough financial situation we're in. Okay, maybe it's been taken out, and you're like, I got to open up this plastic bag. It may be there.
Yeah, and they're telling you, like, hey, don't you want to eat some popcorn? And you say yes because you like popcorn, and then they give you the kernels and expect them to chew them, without them ever popping.
Yeah.
This is you're ruining your teeth with this particular.
He said everything that is being done right now, we will not see the full effects of for 12 to 18 months from now. So all of the spending that's going on, and by the way, next hour, I am going to go into what we're doing in Ukraine. It is, to me, it is the clearest case of corruption, of why the impeachment matters. What was that really all about? The lies of we've got to fight Russia now. Otherwise, we're going to fight him later. I'm reading this book on Kennedy and his problems with the generals and all of the neocons. And one of the main generals that was in charge of, I think it was Strategic Air Command, SAC. He's revered in the military. He actually wrote and said in the 1960s, like 1961, it's inevitable that we're going to have a nuclear war with Russia. We should do it now. And they found out later, he was actually doing things without the president's knowledge or anybody else to provoke the Soviet Union so they would start to gear up and we would have the excuse of a first strike. But his words were, it's inevitable. We're going to have to fight a war with them. We should fight it now. Otherwise, we'll be fighting a worse one later. The same thing. And as I'm reading that, I'm like, this is insanity. Whoops, we're doing the same thing right now.
Similar thing happened in Spies Like Us with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. It's almost the same. It's the same risk. And I think we need to take it seriously. We've been warned for decades. And no one is taking this seriously.
DeSantis said yesterday, if this is what he was asked on the CBS Evening News, which apparently is still on, he said, he was asked, what would you do for inflation? He said, I love this. Stop spending so much money. That's his first. Stop spending so much money. And then open up domestic energy production. Those two things alone. But I honestly, everyone.
Those two things.
Just those two. A lot. Not enough, but a lot. Every candidate needs to be asked this. I have not heard Donald Trump give a real answer to the question of, tell me about inflation. What causes it, and how would you stop it? What would you do to turn the economy around? And, we know, well, we're going to do what we did before. No, you can't now, because we have $8 trillion is what you added to the debt. We're there in spades now, just in, by the end of this one, it'll probably be $10 trillion.
You didn't discuss this with Megyn Kelly yesterday. I didn't see the Megyn Kelly interview.
I didn't either.
I know it was she did, Megyn does a great job with this stuff. Yeah. She's very good at doing this, so I'm very interested to watch it, but I wonder if it was addressed at all there.
I wonder, because I want a real answer from him on that. I want a real answer, because that is, the next president is coming in if we, don't, hopefully we have at least corn pop. But if there is a change, and there will be one way or another, because he ain't making it longer, what is the plan for inflation? Because this is not good. And the only plan that should be considered right now is, one, stop the spending. Stop it. You are being robbed. They're now saying that their target is 3% inflation. Why would we put up with that? I've never understood. The Fed targeting 2% inflation. Okay. And I've lived with that my whole life. Why? Why should there be inflation? Why are you inflating the money 2% every year? If you do 3% in 10 years, I've lost almost 40 cents of every dollar. No. Well, wages are rising at the same pace of inflation. I don't think so. That's why everybody's short. And you're going to learn about hyperinflation the worst possible way one of these days soon. Vivek said, I'm saying Vivek.
Now you're saying it wrong.
You know,
it's
Vivek like cake. I know. Vivek has said that he is going to cut 75% of the federal workforce. 50% of those cuts will be made in his first year. Now,
he knows what to say.
He had me at hello.
Right. It's very Coolidge-esque. But
Coolidge did it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He cut 50% of the federal budget.
Yeah.
In what was it? 1 year?
1 year. Yeah. And then the next year he did another 50%. That's crazy.
Again, very similar to what Vivek is talking about here.
Amen.
Now, would he actually be able to do that? It would be interesting. And that's the thing with Vivek's campaign. A lot of people are saying he's promising too much. He's throwing all this stuff out there, but he is being bold.
This is what has to be done. We are at the time where we all knew this was coming. JFK talked about it. FDR talked about it when he first passed Social Security and said these things must be paid for along the way. Otherwise, it will get out of control and we'll never be able to pay. It could be the ruin of our country. JFK said that. Ronald Reagan said that. We're there now. All of these entitlements, because we didn't actually have the money, we put him onto a debt sheet, and our interest is going to kill us. It's going to kill us. You've got to make massive cuts right now. And by the way, you want to stop the deep state? Cut 75% out. Now, here's the one thing that I've said for a long time, and I'm going to leave it at this, my free gift to Vivek or anybody who wants to use it. I really care about the real estate market. I really care. We're going to make some moves that put the free market back in place. And so your real estate, I'm going to make sure that, everything I can to make sure it's a free market so everybody can afford it, except in the Washington, D.C. area. Your real estate is going to plummet the day I'm elected. You might want to consider selling it now because there's going to be plenty of housing available in the Washington, D.C. area, because I am going to fire 75%. Everybody else, don't worry about it. You live in that area around the Capitol, prepare for a hemorrhaging on the price of your home.